Hey, what's up everybody? It is your boy Brandon on a fantastic Friday. I'm making this video and this is Coffee with Brandon today. So I'm making this video to answer questions, give you guys updates, and tell you exactly what's going on, and also share a few thoughts of some equipment and some things that are coming out here soon. Get you guys to give you my opinion on a few of those things. And just talk to you guys. I like talking to you guys. So first up, what this video is about is there's a lot of things that has been coming out, a lot of equipment that people feel like they need, but they really don't need, okay? One of those things that is coming out that a lot of people know about right now is the Explorer 400. Do I think you need an Explorer 400? The answer is no. The Explorer 600 has vastly been the best monolight, basically, for a very long time, especially on location, battery power, and 600 watts of power. You never know when you're going to need that much power, especially when you get into lighting techniques where you throw light at your subject. It is a very great light. And it has been for a very long time. I think the only thing that's probably ever going to beat that is if they ever come out with an Explorer 800 or 1000 that is battery powered and that powerful, which is probably going to cost up there. Coming out with a less light 400 watts is not ideal, because you really, if you're going to use 400, you might as well use 600. The Evolve 200 or the AD400 is been the most versatile light on the planet for a long time, especially shooting on location. The reason for that is because it's 200 watts of power and it's very powerful. I think it's about 3 speed lights that equal one AD400. Using two AD400s in connection or in conjunction with each other with the ADB2 adapter allows you for about 400 watts of power. You never know when sometimes depending on your settings, your ambient, in the areas that you shoot in, you're probably not going to need 400 watts of power, and the AD400 is very, very powerful. So the versatility of using them in conjunction with each other or breaking them apart and using one as your main light and another one as either your rim, your main, your key, your hair light, whatever the case may be, is amazing. So again, using it as 400 watts of power or using it as one as your main and another one as another type of light is more ideal than just using one solid 400. So between the AD400 and the AD600, I don't see a place where the AD400 fits in there. All right, guys, so I went ahead and decided to move outside since we had some nice, decent weather here. Finish this conversation with you guys. So that's my take on the AD400. I mean, it is what it is, take it how you want. Next, I want to talk about a few things that you feel like you might need, but there are some things out here that we really don't need. And I know the industry is ever changing. I know people are coming out with, you know, things that they feel like you need, telling you as a photographer, hey, you need this, hey, you need that. Actually, hold on, I forgot my coffee. We can't do an interview without coffee, okay? Sit down, talk, coffee with Brandon. That's how we do this. All right, so let's talk about some things that you guys feel like you need or some things that you feel like you don't need. So let's talk about lenses. So there are a few lenses that you guys will probably never ever see me use, ever. That's because I don't feel like they are necessary. There's two lenses that you probably never see me use, and I know a lot of people have asked this on my social media stations. One of the first lenses that you probably see me never use is a 24-70. Whether it be a 2.8, f4, whatever, it don't matter. It's a little bit hot out here also. Whew, that weather, man, whew. So the 24-70 2.8 f4, you'll probably never see me use. The 16 to 35 millimeter 2.8 f4, whatever, it don't matter. You'll probably never see me use. The reason why that is because, you know, when I shot Canon way back when, I had the 24-70, and guess what? It stayed in my bag the entire time. That's because in that focal range between 24 millimeters and 70 millimeters, there's too many primes with WOAs or wider open apertures with a lower aperture, quicker, snappier, sharper lenses in that focal length that are just better than having no zoom. It's just absolutely better. If I had a 24-70, it would stay in my bag, especially if you shoot portraits. I will go to a 24-1.8. You could use a 30mm 1.4-1.8. You could use the 35mm f1.4 Zeiss that I have. I could use the 55mm 1.8. Hell, I could even use the 50mm 1.8 or 1.4. There's too many lenses that are better in that focal length. If you're thinking about getting a 24-70, you probably want to rethink it, because you're going to spend all that money. It's just going to sit in your bag. Another one is the same thing, the 16-35. I have a 16-1.4. It's an APS-C, but it still works great. But then again, that same focal length, I have a 20mm f1.4 Sigma Art that is an amazing lens. And then I have the 35mm 1.4. So why would I choose a 16-35 or a 24-70 over my 35mm 1.4 or my 55mm 1.8? I will get sharper images, shallower depth of field. I will get those images better from a prime lens than I would a zoom lens. So that's why I will never see that. So to say that everybody might need a 24-70 or 16-35 is just a crop, because they're not giving you the real raw answer like I am. It's going to sit in your bag. That's just it. Now you might say, what about wedding photographers? What about event photographers? Look, I shoot weddings. On one hip, I normally have my A7 III or my A7 R2 with my 70-200 2.8. On my other hip, I have my 35mm 1.4. If I want to get closer, I have one button, press it, boom, shift into Super 35 mode. I can get a little bit closer or what have you, and take it. Or I'll stay in 35 millimeters. Because between that 24-70 range, 35 or even the 55 on that hip for the most part, I can use. But if I'm going to be at 50, I might as well be at 70, honestly. 20 millimeters is quite a difference, but it doesn't affect me much. 35mm gives me a shot. I can get wide, I can get whatever with a 35mm. 70-200 takes care of the rest of my lengths. That's what I use on my hip. But I won't put a 24-70 and a 70-200. I won't do that. So that's how I shoot. And I have everything covered that I want to. If I want to do something else, I take my 12-24mm f4G lens that I have now. But other than that, I'm completely covered. So that's how I shoot: 12-24, 35, 70-200. Instead of paying that $2,300-$2,400 for that 24-70 2.8. I just don't agree with that at all. So it is what it is. You take it how you want. That's my take on it. I just wanted to make sure I cleared that up for you guys, since I was getting a few questions on my social media channel about what lenses to get next. That's how I feel about those two lenses. So what else we got? So we talked about the 400. Something else that I feel like I made a mistake in getting is that you guys know about the R2 triggers, right? This was the first R2 trigger. Of course, you can see it. This was one of the first R2 triggers that Sony came, or Godox Flashpoint came out with. This is a great trigger, all right? But then later on, you know, they came out with the R2 Pro. So why did I feel like I made a mistake with the R2 Pro? Well, a lot of people got the R2 Pro for these reasons. It has a larger screen, a little bit more intuitive design. You can see all 5 of your flashes at the same time on one trigger. The slanted, sleek design of it, where people was complaining about possibly hitting their head on the older R2 trigger. I mean, people think it was just a slightly more user-friendly. This one allows you to see about 3 flashes. Now you can deal with 5 flashes on here, but you can only see 3 at a time. And that was it. People thought, I mean, I think it's a little bit more, actually, it's not as many buttons and confusion. But having this one, I felt like I was missing something. This hot shoe mount, when you get into recording your own screen using the Atomos Ninjas, using a GoPro, this, even microphones, this hot shoe mount is a lifesaver. I was able to do a lot with this hot shoe mount, and now when the R2 Pro came out, I wasn't able to do that. So it really took away something that me as a photographer and doing on location photography, this is one of the things that I miss a lot. I don't really care about seeing, the only time I care about seeing 5 flashes on my screen at one time is when I'm doing a wedding and I have my flashes and things set up around the room and I need to go power on some, maybe bring down the power on some more. But as an on-location photographer, how many times do you actually use 5 flashes at once? So why is the old R2 trigger not enough? You're only going to use 1, most of you, maybe 2, if you really get into, you know, using, you know, your lights like you're supposed to and creating your own lighting, you know, rim lights and everything. You might even use 3 at some times. But very, very seldomly do you use 4 and 5 flashes at one time. So I'm actually going back to my old R2 trigger because I really need that hot shoe mount for what I do, to give you guys different views, to record my screen and to do a lot of things. It's just something that I want. Now, it might not benefit you. This is, if I'm not talking to you, then it's not for you. But I'm just giving you ideas and I'm just giving you information on some things that you need to consider before buying them. I had another question about what camera body should I get. As you guys know, the A7 III is an absolute amazing camera. Super fast, and I'm sure you know all the twerks and perks and flirts about it. Me personally, I still have my A7R2, which is what I'm recording you on right now. And I have another A7R2. So currently I have 2 A7R2s and I have an A7 III. A lot of people ask me, why did I not upgrade to the A7R3? Well, I didn't upgrade to the A7R3 because unfortunately it's the exact same camera. And I didn't do it because now I have the A7 III. The A7R3 is about $3,100, $3,000 if you can find one used, you know, whatever the case may be. I don't care. Same sensor, same everything. You get a slightly better battery. You get a better battery life. You get a 10 frames a second versus the 5 or 6 with the A7R2. You know, you get your dual car slot, you get your joystick, all this stuff. That kind of stuff didn't mean anything to me as an on-location photographer. The eye autofocus and everything in the A7R2 is still an amazing, it's still a beast of a camera. If they would have upgraded the 42 megapixel sensor, I may have had a reason to probably upgrade to the A7R3. If it was different, it's not different, it's the same. So I still get really fast. I don't care about the 10 frames a second because I'm not out snapping all day either. If that's for you and it works for you, then by all means. But 6 frames, 5 frames a second is more than enough for me. I can do whatever I want. And that's why I keep the A7R2. They have to come out with something that is going to improve image quality more times over. And just by getting the A7R3, it's not going to improve your image quality. I had the A7R3 and I took several images with the A7R2 and the A7R3, put them side by side. It was the exact same image. Unfortunately, if anybody's telling you different, it's not true, okay? People think you're going to get better image quality by whatever. Look, if it makes any slighter image quality, trust me, anything can be done in post, but it doesn't. So why waste the money? Why make some money on the upgrade? I would rather take that, which is what I did. I took that extra money, $1,500, whatever, to put in the A7R3. I took that money and put into some better glass. That's why I got the 105 millimeter 1.4 that's coming, and that's why I went ahead and got a ultra wide angle lens in the 12 to 24 millimeter f4 that I wanted. And I think all of my lenses are covered, so I really won't be looking at, hopefully, not getting any more lenses in the future. The 105 millimeter f1.4. I think that this lens is going to be revolutionary. I absolutely love the focal length at 105 millimeters. I love the shallow depth of field that you get at 1.4, and I think it is just going to be the best. I think it's going to replace a lot of lenses in you guys' bag. It's already replaced my 85. I don't feel like I need an 85 and a 105 millimeter. And I think it's going to be great. Why not? Some people said, why not get the 135 1.8 from Sigma, which is what I had when I shot Canon. You can use the 135, but you can't use the 135 in every location, especially when you're limited on the room. And that's what you guys need to understand. The 105 millimeter 1.8 from Sigma Art is an amazing lens, just like the 135 f2 from Canon. I've had all of them. The problem is that you limit your amount of space that you have. Now, if you shoot outside and you like to use that, then by all means, great, go ahead. But sometimes I like to get in closer and use a lot more compression on my image. And I like the room. With the 105 millimeters, 30 millimeters is big. And having that extra room and focal length is just gonna be amazing. And I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna become my go-to lens on everything that I actually do. And I can't wait to use it and test it out. Sigma, if you're watching this, make sure you hurry up and send me that lens, please, so I can do my own review on it. And that's pretty much all the stuff I got. So guys, just make sure if you're getting something, make sure it's something that you actually need. Everything in your bag should have a purpose. Every lens that you use should have a purpose. Every camera body that you use should have a purpose for when you need it. But don't get something that can easily be replaced by something else if you really don't need it. I'm going to do another video on my camera, on my gear. A lot of people ask me about my gear and the gear that I use, so that's going to be a separate video. I'm going to be doing a video on some camera settings for you guys. The last thing I want to put out is about my photo walk. That's right, Brandon's photo walk. Smoke near the water, smoke on the water, photo walk coming up August the 11th, guys. August the 11th from 6 to 9. Tickets go on sale Monday. Tickets will go on sale Monday, July the 30th, I think it is. Where's my coffee? Jeez, who keeps stealing my coffee? I don't think there's nobody else out here. Yeah, July 30th. From 6 to 9, I'm gonna have 3 amazing models. Now it is limited space, guys. 3 amazing models. One of my models is gonna be a male model. A lot of people don't use male models in their photo walks. I will be using a male model. My male model will be no other than the one that I have worked with. It's a little windy out here, but hopefully you guys can still hear me. My male model that I'm going to be working with is no other than Matt Hinger, one of my favorite go-to male models. He is amazing. If you guys haven't saw the videos that I've done on him, check out my past videos he's done. I think I worked with him twice. He used a clown mask on one of them. We used some smoke. It was absolutely amazing. His attitude is great. Cool ladies, man. Hopefully the females that are coming is going to love him. The next model that I'm going to have, I didn't do a video with her, but if you checked out my last photo walk, she was at my last photo walk, Christina. She is an amazing model. She has a really good skin tone. You guys, it's going to work out fabulous with flash. And it's going to be an opportunity for me to show the difference on how flash behaves on people with different skin tones also. And then the last model that I'm going to have is going to be none other than the one and only Faith. She's going to come out. Hopefully you guys are going to get to work with her, get to meet her. She is crazy. She is a great character. She has a great attitude, but other than that, she is an amazing model. So a lot of people have been asking about Faith. Yeah, Faith is going to be there. So hopefully you guys can come on up. So 6 to 9, August the 11th, come out. We're going to be doing some amazing things. We're going to have a good walk and meet the models that I work with. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. So that's my time. I told you I'm going to be bringing you guys a couple more tips and tricks this week before I come out with my next video that I haven't really got to do. Comment, like, and subscribe. And hey, let's continue this conversation in the comment section below. I will put all the links to the gear that I use. I will put my social media links so you guys can go follow me. And yeah, hope this has been great, guys. So until the next video, holla, it's your boy.